Okay, so I'm here in North Greenwich. Why am I in North Greenwich? Well, firstly, I work here in this office, but that's not why I'm here. It's Saturday, so definitely not going in there. But I'm here because I'm meeting Minjung and we're going to go to Ikea today. Now, why are we going to Ikea? I've been putting off an Ikea journey because we've been in a shared house for the last 3 years, and it just seemed depressing to go to Ikea and see lovely things that, you know, we don't have our own flat, so there's no point getting excited about that. But we do have our own place, and we're going to be moving in at the end of this month. Huge updates, so amazing. And it turns out Freddie Dobbs, a YouTuber, great, fantastic content creator, who I've been following for a long time, put his place up for rent on Instagram, and so I thought I'd shoot him an email and see if it was available, and it was, and he was so kind, showing us around. Freddie and Monica have been so lovely and so accommodating, and I want to say a really big thanks for the mention on his channel, mentioning us, and also my new channel. You know, that mention took my subscribers from like 16 to over 100 in like the space of a day, you know, and that was kind of insane for me. So yeah, and it was lovely. People were commenting saying, we're here from Freddie's channel, we're here from Freddie's recommendation, we're really excited to join your adventure early on. And that's the thing I really like, and that's one of the reasons I started this channel now, a couple of months ago. You know, I didn't have a bike, I don't have a bike yet, I've got one reserved, and I don't have my license, and there was a sense in feeling a bit like an imposter, having a bit of imposter syndrome, because there's lots of amazing channels and adventure channels that are already established and doing trips, and there's me without a bike, kind of just making some content. But then I realized, you know, sometimes when you watch that kind of content, you kind of think, how did they get there? You know, they're doing these adventures, but how did they get the bike? And for people like me who are trying to get into it, I wanted to see the beginning of the journey. So I thought, well, if that's my intention and that's where I want to get to, why not film the journey from the beginning? You know, why not film doing the CBT and the theory and the trials and tribulations of the Mod 1 and Mod 2 and the drama? But yeah, I'm going to go meet Minjung now. We're going to make sure we just do window shopping and not buy lots of stuff, because we don't have a van. We literally just have my backpack and whatever Minjung's got. So we cannot be buying cupboards and desks and beds or anything like that yet. So just looking and imagining. We're going to walk.
Yeah?
Why are we going to Ikea?
Because we have to buy a bed.
We have to buy a bed, yeah. We're not buying a bed today because we don't have a van. We don't have anything like that. So literally, let's not get run over by this. Firstly, the food as well. We want to try what do you like to get from Ikea? Meatballs?
Yeah.
Okay, there's apparently these amazing meatballs. I haven't been in absolutely years. Because we're moving in at the end of the month, I'm more than happy to go. Well, we have to go, don't we? So, yeah, very exciting. So here we are at Ikea. We're going to go in and have a look, and this will be exciting, won't it? What are we actually looking for? Bed, mattress, maybe some cupboards and some chairs and things, but we can get that stuff later. But let's just do some eye shopping. Okay, so yesterday we had a big long day in Ikea for the big move. We spent almost 3 hours in there. It was totally overwhelming. I haven't been there since I was probably a teenager. So just not even a scintilla of conviction in actually having a place and buying stuff, but it was always just fun to look at, you know, the showroom, as it were, is like fun to look around in as a kid. It was really busy. Obviously it's a Saturday, couldn't film in there unfortunately, so you're just going to have to go from word of mouth. I did take a little bit of footage just of the food, which I'll put here, and the food was excellent. We had meatballs and mashed potato chips, peas, this jam stuff like cranberry sauce type stuff, garlic bread. We just had the works, and then an amazing cinnamon roll. It shouldn't be that good, the food, but it's synonymous with that, isn't it? So Swedish innovation doing its thing. But yeah, it was great. It was just sensory overload. Like, I forgot how IKEA works. So when we first walked in there, I was kind of walking towards the warehouse part, and Minjung was like, "Where are you going?" "No, that's not." And I was like, "Well, why wouldn't we go there?" And you know, you go up, there's the showroom, you look around, you write down the numbers of what you like, you can test out sitting chairs and look at kitchen units, and then you go down to the storeroom and you bring your codes and you actually take the stuff. So I didn't know that at all, had no idea. So yeah, it was just really overwhelming because, you know, because we're going into this place and most of it is unfurnished, there's a lot of things we have to get. We have to get, you know, like a TV cabinet, we have to get a coffee table, a dining table, and then chairs and stuff like that. So it's quite overwhelming, and we found ourselves like focusing in for a long period of time on, you know, seemingly less important things than the bed. And also it was like sixth on the list of, you have to go through certain parts of the studio before you can actually get to the bed part. So, you know, obviously we just went through kind of like an emotional roller coaster of like, oh, this and this and this and this. By the time we got to the bed section, I was completely fried. But we did find a decent bed frame and a mattress to go with it, so that's good. And I had to take a coffee break because I was just completely overwhelmed. Like, I've always gotten it in shopping malls. I think it's the sensory overload. It's the everything is trying to sell you on things. There's, you know, huge logos with sales on saying 70%, 20%, this, and you can't help but you can't stop your brain from working and thinking, oh, maybe I need that, maybe I need that, even if you have no intention of getting that stuff whatsoever. So usually when I, you know, go to a mall or go to a big shop, I always kind of know what I'm going to get and I go with that intention. Whereas, you know, it's always a bit dangerous, especially since we do kind of need a lot of this stuff. We do need a table at some point, all this stuff. So, you know, by the time a couple of hours in, I was like, I need 2 cappuccinos. So had that, and it did really help, actually. The coffee's not bad as well in IKEA, so it was all right. And then went for round 2, returned back to the beds and had a look. So all in all, great. What did we actually get that day? I don't know if you remember me mentioning, but because we don't have the van, there was no intention of actually buying the bed. So what did we come away from? Huge store, 3 hours there. We came back with 10 IKEA wooden coat hangers. So result. Actually, I'm a bit gutted because this is my local park, Gladstone. I love it so much. It's quite big, very hilly, lots of people walking their dogs. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and there's a Stables cafe just there, and they do decent coffee and great breakfast and desserts and stuff, but unfortunately they're closed until mid-August, which is a bit of a shame, because I was hoping to get a coffee from over there, sit down, slowly use the caffeine to wake me up. Never mind, that's fine, that's not a big deal. So other than that, the update I want to share is about the bike. I haven't really talked about this, but back about a month ago, I decided on a bike. So what bike did I get? What bike did I reserve? So as a new rider, I was thinking lots of different bikes. Honda GB350S was one that I was looking at for ages. My absolute dream bike, the bike that I think can do everything I want to do and has the character of what I want. It's like a Triumph Bonneville, but obviously a newer one's expensive, and on the used market you can get them, but I don't really know much about what to look for. It's the same with cars. You know, when I first started driving, I didn't really know what I was looking for or what to look out for. So I've decided to get something new for the first bike. And then after that, I think I'll be confident, or a bit more knowledgeable, in the sense that I'll be able to figure out a good deal and know what questions to ask. And then I can get like a second-hand, really lovely, my absolute dream bike. So yeah, I was between the Honda GB 350S, and then I was looking at the Triumph Speed 400 and the Scrambler 400X. I was even looking at the Honda, is it the CB 500 or NX 500 it's now called, like Adventure. So, you know, obviously everyone's bike choice is completely personal. It depends on your taste and what you intend to do with it, your circumstances. I plan on doing lots of adventures, not just commuting, not just doing it on the weekend, but using it as my main mode of transport, and also as an engine, quite literally an engine, to fuel the adventures that I want to go on around Europe and maybe even further. And also I plan to take my partner Min. We want to go on trips together, so I don't want to get a bike that A, is too uncomfortable, or a bike that's too cramped and she doesn't like it, or B, something that's, you know, too maybe underpowered with a pillion passenger. That was what kind of ruled out the Honda GB for me, because as much as I love that bike, it's really affordable to buy new, it sounds amazing, it looks amazing. I just worry about the power limitation, especially with a pillion, and especially if we're going long distances. There might be times when we need to cover a bit of ground on the dual carriageway or the motorway, and I just want to have that option. I'm not saying we couldn't do it, but there's just enough of a question mark to make me think. So yeah, I'd been in to see the Honda GB, they were nice and stuff, and then it came to a point last month where I was like, you know what, I'm getting closer to my Mod 1, I've done the CBT and the theory, I just want to really consider maybe putting some money down for a bike, putting a deposit down. So I called Honda. This was when I had the intention of getting the GB, and they didn't answer, and I tried for a day, basically, tried to get through, and it was just such a hassle. And I've heard horror stories about, not Honda in particular, but just that when you get a new bike, you have those service intervals, you have the initial service, and it can be a bit of a pain just getting it booked in. And I just suddenly realised, like, if it's so hard to contact them just to inquire about a bike, I'm showing interest, then I don't know if this is right. So then I just, on a whim, called Triumph. And straight away someone picked up the phone, and they were really accommodating. They were like, come in, you know. I was saying the bikes I was looking at, the Speed 400, the Scrambler 400X. They were like, just come in and have a look and have a chat with us and stuff. So I went to Triumph, and it's the one in the centre. I don't think it's that far from the bike shed, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but it's quite near. I can't remember where it's near, but it's centre of London. Went in, and immediately it was just incredible going in there. First time in a Triumph dealership in the flesh. Lots of new bikes, lots of second-hand bikes in pristine condition, and I got speaking to Richard there, who was really helpful, lovely. Spoke to us for, you know, basically an hour, just was with us, and he let me sit on the Speed 400, and he was like, you know, are you planning on taking pillion? I was like, yeah, this is part of the sort of decision I have to make, and it's going to factor in. And so he got Min to sit on the back, so I was on the thing, and then she sat on the back, and immediately she said, this is too cramped for me, I feel cramped. See, I was gutted because I really liked the Speed 400, but so then there was the Scrambler 400X, which Min really liked. She'd seen a picture of it online, the green one, and there was a green one in there, just a few rows from the Speed 400. So I said, you know, can I have a sit on the Scrambler? And he was like, yeah, sure. So he wheeled it out, and then sat on it, and I got Minjung to sit on it as well, and she immediately was like, yeah, this is way more comfortable, way more space. And it was amazing how they've got the same engine, and they came out together. They're quite similar bikes in lots of ways, but the difference of sitting on the Scrambler, you really feel sort of like the bike's a lot bigger because it's taller. And I suddenly had this sense of, oh, I think I could really do a lot of miles on this. Not that I didn't think that with the Speed 400, but it has a more kind of urban feel to it, light, beautiful bike. And so, yeah, sat on it, looked at it, contemplated, and then realised that that was the one. So I ended up going for that one, putting a deposit down, and Richard and the team are kindly holding the bike until I pass. They're well aware of my how long it might take, and yeah, so right now in Triumph London there is a Scrambler, a green Scrambler, sat there with my name on it. He wrote it on the thing, and it was such a ridiculously exciting thing. I felt like a boy again, you know. As soon as I pass the Mod 2, I'm just ready to go. I'll immediately go there and pick up the Scrambler. So I spoke to Triumph the other day and updated them about the fact that I passed the Mod 1 test, which they're happy about, and that potentially I could be picking up the Scrambler 400X 5th of September. So the test is in the morning, and then straight after the test I might be able to go straight to Triumph and pick up the bike. I just need to remind them a few days in advance, but when we were on the phone he was like, you know, your bike's still here, still been reserved, because I reserved it back in mid-July. So, you know, it's just been sitting there in the dealership showroom with my name on it. And he said, you know, feel free to come whenever you want and see the bike. I just felt a bit weird about it. We move in less than a week. So we've got the van booked on Friday. We're moving into this new flat in Belvedere, and we'll have an actual place for the motorbike, actual underground parking with a place that I can put the bike. So that's better for the insurance, and obviously for it not to get stolen, because around here I would just have to have it like on the street. I would have had to. So thank you for watching the video today and a little update on everything. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You'll get notified of new videos to come. And also check out my Instagram that I've set up for this page. You can have little insights or behind the scenes of the videos, or you can see firsthand when I post a new video or some stories to go along with it. So check it out, Samuel White. I think it's Samuel White _. That's the username on Instagram. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.